Have you ever heard of a case so perfectly planned, it was almost a work of art? A crime so clean, it left investigators chasing shadows for months? Well, today, we're diving into the story of the Silent Collector, a case that baffled everyone until one unassuming inspector decided to look not at the evidence, but at human nature itself. It all started in a quiet, affluent neighborhood. Over 6 months, 5 high-end art pieces vanished from 5 different mansions. No alarms tripped, no windows broken, no security footage captured. It was as if a ghost had simply walked through the walls, taken a multi-million-dollar painting, and vanished into thin air. The media dubbed the thief the Silent Collector. The police were at a dead end. The victims were all powerful, well-connected people, and the pressure was immense. Enter Inspector Alistair Finch. Now, Alistair wasn't your typical tough-as-nails movie detective. He was a quiet, middle-aged man with a fondness for crossword puzzles and lukewarm tea. His colleagues thought he was past his prime, a bit of a relic. But Alistair possessed something more powerful than a battering ram, an almost supernatural understanding of people's habits and vanities. While everyone else was re-examining security schematics and dusting for non-existent fingerprints, Alistair was doing something different. He spent weeks just talking to the victims, not just about the theft, but about their lives, their routines, their passions. He'd ask about their gardeners, their favorite restaurants, the last time they had the carpets cleaned. His team thought he was wasting time, just making small talk. But Alistair was weaving a tapestry, connecting threads no one else could even see. He noticed a peculiar pattern. All 5 victims, despite being wealthy art lovers, were also intensely private and, frankly, a little arrogant. They each boasted about their impenetrable security systems, almost taking more pride in the fortress than the treasure inside. They also shared one other, seemingly random thing. They all used the same exclusive, high-end catering service, gourmet gatherings for their private events. This was a long shot. The catering staff were vetted, background checked, and never had access to the full security codes. But Alistair's gut told him he was onto something. So he didn't storm their headquarters with a warrant. That would be too clumsy. Instead, he decided to set a trap, using the thief's own playbook against them. Alistair knew the Silent Collector wasn't just stealing for money. They were stealing for the thrill, the ego boost of outsmarting the system. The thief needed to prove they were smarter than everyone else. So, Alistair decided to dangle the ultimate prize. He worked with a reclusive tech billionaire, a man even more private and security-obsessed than the previous victims. They let it be known, through carefully placed whispers in the right social circles, that the billionaire had acquired a legendary, long-lost Fabergé egg. They also let it slip that he was hosting a small, exclusive dinner party to celebrate, catered, of course, by gourmet gatherings. The trap was baited. The mansion's security was real, but Alistair added a twist. He had the tech team install a new experimental layer of security, a silent, pressure-sensitive grid under the flooring in the gallery where the egg was displayed. It wouldn't trigger an alarm. It wouldn't make a sound. It would simply record the exact weight and gait of anyone who walked across it, creating a unique footprint signature. The night of the party arrived. The catering staff came and went. The guests mingled, admired the egg through its laser-protected case, and left. The next morning, as expected, the Fabergé egg was gone. No alarms, no forced entry. Perfection. The billionaire, playing his part, was publicly furious. The police department looked incompetent yet again. The Silent Collector had won, or so they thought. Alistair didn't even visit the crime scene. He just asked for 2 pieces of data: the employee list from gourmet gatherings for the party, and the footprint signature data from the gallery floor. Then, he did something brilliant. He called the owner of Gourmet Gatherings, a polished, charming man named Julian Croft, to his office for a routine follow-up. Julian arrived, calm and confident, offering his full cooperation. Alistair offered him a cup of tea and started with his usual, seemingly aimless questions about business and suppliers. As Julian settled in, Alistair casually said, "You know, Julian, the strangest thing about this case is the floor. We have a new system. It measures a person's weight in the specific rhythm of their walk. It's incredibly accurate. For example," Alistair said, sliding a printout across the desk, "this is the signature of the person who walked into the gallery last night. A perfect match for someone weighing 178 pounds with a slight limp in their left foot." He paused, letting the silence hang in the air. Julian's confident smile didn't falter, but Alistair noticed a tiny, almost imperceptible muscle twitch in his jaw. Julian had a well-known injury from a university polo match, a slight, barely noticeable limp in his left foot. Alistair continued, his voice still gentle. "And here," he said, sliding a second printout over, "is the data from a sensor we placed on the welcome mat outside this very office. It registered your weight and gait as you walked in 10 minutes ago. 178 pounds. A slight limp in the left foot. They're a perfect match. That was it, the checkmate. No threats, no raised voices. Julian Croft's entire composure shattered. He was the owner, the one person who could override schedules, create last-minute supply runs to get himself into the houses during events, and study the security systems up close over years of service. He wasn't a common thief. He was an artist of crime, and Alistair had just revealed his masterpiece with nothing more than a few numbers on a page. He had used Julian's own ego, his need to be the smartest man in the room, to trap him. The case of the silent collector was solved, not with force, but with finesse. It showed that sometimes the most powerful investigative tool isn't a piece of technology, but a deep understanding of the human heart, its pride, and its folly. Inspector Alistair Finch went back to his lukewarm tea and crossword puzzles, leaving everyone to marvel at how the quietest man in the room had heard the thief's silent footsteps all along. What a brilliant way to solve a case, right? It just goes to show you should never underestimate the quiet ones. Thanks so much for hanging out and listening to this incredible story. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more tales of clever detective work. Let me know in the comments what you thought of Alistair's method. See you in the next video.